Welcome YouTubers, back to the channel. So today we are looking for squirrels, locating squirrels in a forest. Now this is different than locating them in a park or in your backyard. Obviously, as you can tell behind me, I'll give you a 360 view. Lots of small trees, medium-sized ones and large ones. So how do you narrow it down? If you're on a one-day hike, you just kind of want to see if you can get possibility of upping your chances of taking a couple pictures of squirrels, or just finding them for a later setup to where you're actually setting up a nice perch with a nice backdrop. So here's problematic because we have so many trees. I need to get out on the outskirts, but I'm going to give you 5 tips real quick to get you locating squirrels. So first is the size of the tree. The bigger, the better, the more holes in it, that kind of thing, where they have holes in them where they can go in and out, little tunnel work. I tend to focus on big trees with not a lot of big trees around it. So you have this little forest and a big tree. That's where mainly I'm hoping their hideout is. So you want to look for signs like little acorns, little nuts that are cracked open, food source. You can also look at the base of the tree. Look at the base of the tree, see if you can see some little paw marks. I got a tracking video if you want to check that out. Little paw marks, snow marks, mud, and that kind of thing. Also, they make these little hammocks. So you'll notice them if you look up in the trees. They make these little hammocks. They're out of leaves and sticks that they bed in during the summer when it's nicer out. And lastly, water. If it's near a creek, it has a tendency to be better opportunity for them to house, go get a drink of water, come back, just like everything. Sometimes you get in these huge forests where it's almost, I call it a dead forest, because there's like, looks like there should be a squirrel around every branch, and there's nothing. There's no movement. It seems like they're just so far into the forest that it's just too much of a pain to go get water or their food sources there. So some of the things to keep an eye out as you're walking through the forest, last 2, is chattering and cutting. Now squirrels, this is a squirrel barker. A lot of times they'll reply back to it. I use it sometimes here. It's a little bark, and then cutting. Now cutting sounds like a scratching. I'm going to go back here. Like that sound where they're cutting open a nut of some sort and trying to eat it, but they're actually visible and they're looking for you. So it's one of those things you can kind of simulate that to get the forest back into a natural state, is acting like cutting, because if you scare stuff in this forest, you won't hear that. But eventually, after 30 minutes or something, you'll start hearing little signs that tell you animals are coming out. Anyway, let's get moving. This is not the best looking place for actually setting up a photo, kind of a perch, so we can do some photography. We'll try to get on the outskirts, and there's some more water in that. Alright guys, wraps it up for day 1. I found a location. I think I got some good backdrops. I'll start showing you a couple images there of where I took some photos up against some trees in the backdrop, just to see if I can get a nice, smooth, even backdrop. Looks pretty good, so maybe come back tomorrow and kind of play around a little bit, see if I can get a squirrel eye level with me, and see what can we work out. Anyway. Alright guys, day 2, back. A little windier today. Yesterday we had to call it quits early. Got in a little later than I wanted to, found the spot. Birds flying by. Got into the spot. Got some video footage I'm going to show you here in a sec. And with that, the angle of the squirrels were just too high. It wasn't eye length straight across or lower. It was actually way up there. So I had to call it quits on that. I actually had an owl come in, kind of mess with some things there. He scared them away, so I just decided to make a day 2 of it. A little windier today. I'm going to be quieter here. I'm going to shut off the camera. Probably give you, if anything comes in, give you in-camera video footage and from there. So yeah, now it's just kind of waiting for them to come down a little lower. I put a little bird seed out for them, so hopefully they'll come down, and that, if not, maybe I'll get some bird photographs as well. So all right, we'll see what happens. First squirrel of the morning. Straight up here. I'll see if I can get some video footage. Been photographing birds, but you kind of coming around here. All right, guys, that about wraps it up. Anyway, seen one squirrel come in, a bunch of woodpeckers, some other small birds. I think I got a couple photos I can put up here. And yeah, the squirrel was a little bit more shy than I thought. Probably should have moved this over here, the blind in front of me. But probably give it a week or two, he'd probably get used to me. Anyway, I think that's going to do it. If you guys like this stuff, you know what to do. Like, subscribe. Next couple of weeks, I think I'm going to do a review of the EM5 Mark III. I have the Mark II and Mark III. Probably give you a rough overview if you're interested in that. Also, maybe next week, video on photographic stalking, like the camo, how to approach things, how to walk in the forest, how to be quiet, best ways to set up and that. Because I see a lot of issues going on there, and I think you're going to see a couple of little video snaps of me walking around in camo kind of disappearing or hard to see. So yeah, I'm looking at doing that maybe next week or the next week after that. But if you guys like this stuff, again, hit those buttons, and hope to see you.